Good morning and welcome to Community Roundtable, a free public service brought to you on AM 1590 KDJS. If you're a member of a nonprofit organization and would like to be featured on the program, call the KDJS Newsline at 320-235-2900. That's 320-235-2900.
We are talking recycling on Community Roundtable today. Al Sheldon here. We have Jay Baker on the line from the Kandiyohi County Recycling Center, Household Hazardous Waste. Jay, always a pleasure to visit with you. And this past week has been Earth Week, of course. And boy, talk about a busy time. And finally, with Mother Nature breaking free with some what we call cleanup weather. We can get outdoors or the garage or the basement and get some things taken care of, can't we?
Absolutely. It's a great time of the year to do that. The weather is finally cooperating, so it's a good time to get out there and you know, if you got recycling laying around, it's a good time to do that. It's a good time to clean out the garage and bring your hazardous waste into us at the hazardous waste facility, and we sure encourage people to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, thanks for having us out last Friday. We always come out once or twice a year, do a little live broadcast from your parking lot. That's always fun. You and the gang are very gracious hosts.
Well, we certainly enjoy it, Alan. It's good to have you guys out so we can get the message out to people about what we're all about and what we'd like people to do.
Well, we always get a new perspective from you when we visit, and here we are, 2019. Seems like every year you make a change or two. There's something going on that people need to know about, how to recycle, maybe where to recycle, extra locations. What's new for this year? Well,
you know, honestly, what's new, a lot of people may be hearing about some negative stuff about recycling, and basically it's about the pricing of recycled commodities. And let me reassure people, yes, prices are down for what we're getting for our material once we process it, but we want to make sure that people know we still want you to recycle it. Our main goal here at the county is to keep stuff out of the landfill. I mean, that is a huge thing for us, and by doing that, what we do is extend the life of the landfill, which is a very positive thing in our site, and so we just really encourage people to keep recycling because it is very important.
Well, I want to start this way. You've got a lot of places around the county where people can drop things off. Where and of course, what can be dropped off?
Okay, basically, we take plastics, anything from 1 through 5. Now, what I mean by that is normally located on the bottle or whatever piece of plastic you have is a recycling triangle. Inside the triangle is a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is what we take. So it may be a water bottle, it may be a milk jug, it may be a clamshell type material, which you may get some rolls or something at your grocery store. That's the kind of stuff we take. We also take a lot of paper products, anything from newspaper to junk mail to cereal box material, which we call chipboard, to magazines. Any of that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't realize that you can recycle magazines. Your junk mail, which, hey, everybody gets junk mail, right?
Oh, boy.
Too much of it.
Yes.
But that stuff is very recyclable, and we want that. Any of your office paper, any of that type of stuff. We also take, of course, aluminum cans, tin cans. We take glass bottles, that type of thing. And of course, cardboard. Corrugated cardboard is a big recycled material for us. We get tons and tons of that every year.
Now let's. I want to lead us through some of these items individually here, and just call on personal experience. And I'm thinking of my garage. I'm thinking of plastic, and I'm familiar with the little triangle and the number inside. I used to a few years back change oil, and I'd take the used motor oil out of my truck or my car, put it in an old gallon container or whatever. Are there still places where you can go dump the oil? I know you don't take the oil, do you?
We do not take used motor oil, but let me reassure you, there are places around town that do. Basically, in Minnesota, it's required by anybody that changes motor oil on a motor vehicle to accept used motor oil back, even though they may have not have changed your motor oil. So like Waltz, Valvoline, Rapid Oil Change, any of those places. Plus, there's also a standalone facility out by Surplus Warehouse. If people know where that is, it's out on West Highway 12.
Right.
There's actually a place there you can dispose of your used motor oil also.
Now, while it's fun to tinker with your vehicle sometimes, or it used to be anyway, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, it's less expensive to go to a place that changes your oil than it is, I think, to buy 5 or 6 quarts and a filter.
Yeah. I honestly, I used to change all my own motor oil, and I've totally gotten away from it just because, number one, it's easier. Number two, it really doesn't cost that much more to have somebody do it. So
yeah, exactly.
Kind of where I'm at.
Exactly. So yeah, you can, if your containers are full, you can empty them out and then recycle the plastic, of course.
Absolutely. We do get that question quite a bit. What do I do with my old plastic quart oil containers once I've gotten the oil out of them?
Yeah.
Place the cap back on them and put them in your recycling.
You just led me to my next question.
Yeah.
What do you do with the cap?
The cap, actually leave it on there, because what we do, normally there's always some residual material in the quart container, and what we do once they come to the recycling facility here, we actually take the cap off and just let them drain for a few hours, just so they get kind of cleaned out. Otherwise, you end up with kind of a mess with the oil residual material in there. So.
Now, with water bottles or pop bottles, you leave the caps on those too?
Either way, actually, those we prefer you take them off.
Okay.
Primarily because when the material is processed, like the number one plastic is processed, it's actually baled, and believe it or not, those plastic bottles, a lot of them are pretty tough, and you end up with air inside those, and they don't squish very good.
Right. I know.
So those we do ask that people take them off. It's not a big deal if you don't. Not a problem. We'll still take them, but it does help us out a little bit if they're off. We are talking on Community Roundtable with Jay Baker, the Regional Manager, Household Hazardous Waste, Kandiyohi County Recycling, Southwest Wilmer, right by the Stingers ballpark. That's where you can bring stuff. And you have a lot of bins, man. You have a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna continue the trek down the side of my garage here, and now I'm at my pile of cardboard boxes. Yeah. And I have some boxes that are corrugated, and I have some that are just kind of flat. And do I need to separate those or anything? Or yes, actually, the corrugated cardboard. At the facility, what we do is we have big, what we call cardboard cages out here, where you can dispose of that stuff 24 hours a day. Okay. They're outside all the time, as the other bins. But with the other material, the corrugated stuff, of course, is the real heavy. Most of it is kind of a brownish-looking material. The other type of material that people kind of get confused about is the cereal box material, which is more of a paper board rather than a cardboard. Remember, the cardboard is the corrugated stuff with the two layers and the squiggly stuff in between. Yeah. The other stuff is like your Cheerios box, like your saltine cracker box. That stuff actually can be disposed of or put into into our junk mail, and with the junk mail, magazines and that type of stuff. Okay. Yep. In any case, we should break them down, aka flatten them, right? We do prefer that. Yes, we do prefer that. It makes it a little bit easier. We can get a little bit more in our cages out here. We've got 7 big cardboard cages, and very honestly, on the weekend, they have to empty those multiple times, even on Sunday. Wow. They come in and empty those just because they fill up so quick. And we move right on down to my next pile of stuff here, Jay. I have magazines. I have subscribed to many magazines for many years. Kind of part of the gig here, being in the radio business. Oh, sure, got to be informed. I like to read and find out interesting stuff. And, sure. And you mentioned at the top of the show here that you do take magazines. Any differences in magazines? Are they all the same? Nah, pretty much. They're pretty much all the same. Yeah, we definitely do take them. For people, are also a little bit confused sometimes about those. We do take them. Not a problem. Bring them in. There's still a lot of magazines out there, and we do take them. They're very recyclable.
Very good. Yeah, and they've got their own spot, right? It's labeled.
Absolutely. They actually go along with the boxes we talked about, the paperboard boxes we talked about earlier. They go with paperboard boxes, with your magazines, junk mail. All that goes into one bin. So it's pretty easy. The only paper we ask you to separate is the newspaper. Mm-hmm. And primarily just because that gets processed differently, gets baled by itself. So.
Yeah, I've got an interesting way of recycling most of my magazines. Actually, just about all of them. We probably get 7 or 8 magazines at home each month.
Sure.
And I lost count, so that's how many we get. But I have a wonderful neighbor lady who loves getting my old Smithsonian's and National Geographics.
Oh, sure.
So I recycle them to her.
There you go.
She, in turn, takes them to Bethesda, I believe.
Oh.
And they get recycled there for people to read. And then I've got my outdoor hunting magazines. I have grandkids that tend to like those quite extensively.
There you go.
And the food magazines, anybody who wants them, here's some recipes. and then my Sports Illustrated magazines, I pile those up in a corner because I'm going to sell them to somebody someday.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's my crazy way of taking care of magazines.
There's nothing wrong with that, Al. If that's part of the 3 R's. That would be reuse. Mm-hmm. If you're reusing some, if you can get more than one use out of them, that's a great thing.
And I'm saving somebody some money by not having to buy them themselves. Yep. Talking with Jay Baker, it's Community Roundtable this morning, and pleasure to have everybody on board. You never know what topic we're going to hit on week to week, but one thing is guaranteed: we'll always have a good time chatting about different things. And now we go to the next pile. I got a workbench in the garage, and over there in the corner are a bunch of things that I think I'm always going to need. And I don't quite need that many. I'm talking about plastic bags.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Plastic bags.
Yes.
Plastic bags are one of those items that it's kind of a problem material.
I think so.
Yes, it is. I honestly wish that we did not have so many plastic bags. In fact, we at the county here are really pushing the use of reusable bags, primarily because if you drive around town, especially in the spring, you may see those plastic bags up in trees and along the road and in the road ditches. And it's just kind of a problem material. That honestly is something we used to take. We didn't really advertise a lot, but we were able to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. Now it's the point where we have to pay to get rid of those.
Oh, man.
Now, there still are places you can get rid of those. What I encourage people to do is take them to, I know they take them at Walmart, they take them at Cub Foods, they take them at Cashwise grocery store. Any of those places will take them. But right now, we just really are having trouble getting rid of those. We had some... We had probably 40 bales of that stuff. What I mean by bales, they were like 1,500 pounds. So
wow.
They're rather large bales. And we actually ended up having to pay quite a bit of money to get those recycled. Kind of one of those things that you hate to do, but we had to do it because once stuff is recycled, by law, we have to recycle it. I mean, once we accept it, we have to recycle it. So that's indeed what we did. Cost us a lot of money, but hey, we got it done.
I will never forget, it was last fall, I want to say last September, when we were doing a broadcast from the recycling center, and you were talking about how these things just blow around everywhere. And as I look over my shoulder, you've got a tree across from your door, across the parking lot, and there were 2 plastic bags stuck in the tree.
Yes.
Talk about timing.
A perfect example.
Oh, yes.
Perfect example.
No kidding. No kidding. And as crazy as it is, you might think, oh, look, the plastic melts so good in my leaf burning pile. You don't want to burn the plastic bags.
You really don't, because you know what it is. If you notice, if you have ever burned any of those, what you get is a lot of black smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of some nasty stuff. You really don't want to burn those things because basically it's a petroleum-based product. Those plastic bags, just not a good thing to burn them.
Between the atmosphere and getting any in your lungs, also,
exactly.
You don't want to do that. No, man.
Yeah.
Back to the corrugated cardboard thing. Years ago, Jay, boy, did I learn a lesson. Thank goodness I didn't start the neighborhood on fire. But we're raking leaves and the fall season and the smell of the outdoors, and we threw a little cardboard in there, and there was just not even hardly a breeze, but that corrugated stuff, the way it burns, it floats up into the air.
Oh, yes.
And there's a row of evergreens on the side of our property, and I'm like, oh, no, it's going to the trees, man.
Oh, no.
I got the garden hose ready, and I'm good. I'm like, my phone in my pocket, and thank goodness nothing caught fire. That's the last time I ever did that, man.
It's weird how that stuff floats up in the air. Really, the embers are still kind of flickering and that type of thing. So, yeah, you could have had a real recreational fire there.
Well, in the middle of town, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking back to my farm boy days when Dad would burn everything, and if it wasn't burnable, he'd have the guy come out with the caterpillar or the crane and dig a hole.
Right.
Back then, Dad would call it a $20 hole, and then he would push stuff into it and bury it.
Yes.
Another weird thing you don't want to do.
That was pretty. That was a pretty common practice back then.
Yeah. We talk about recycling plastic. Anything new that plastic is being made into? We've talked about pants and shirts and whatever. Yeah. What's going on?
Pants, shirts, a lot of times you run into stuff called plastic lumber.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It looks like wood. It's not.
Yeah.
That is used a lot. Plastic is used a lot in that, all of our material. Also, people have probably heard of Prinsco.
Yeah.
In Princeburg, they make field drain tile. In that, they use a lot of recycled material in that. So it is widely used. I mean, carpeting, T-shirts, all of that stuff. So there's definitely a demand for the stuff. And that's basically why we want people to recycle it. Why throw away something that can be reused or repurposed?
Yeah,
that's what we're after.
That's what you've got to do. What do people do? I don't know if you have the answer to this or not, Jay, but I'm thinking of things that don't really go away. I mean, that would be used vehicles. I know you don't take them, but are vehicles being recycled? The parts and stuff, are they getting compacted and squared up, or what?
Yes, absolutely. They're still being. Basically, what a wrecking yard or junkyard will do is they get vehicles in and they will take out all of the liquids, the oil, if there's gas, antifreeze. They will drain all of those liquids out of there, and they will crush them, and they melt. Ship them off to a place, and they melt them down. So they are definitely still being recycled. Absolutely.
Yeah, one thing I think about on this planet, we have a growing population of people, we have a growing population of vehicles.
Oh, yes.
There are always new people and new vehicles being made, if we can say that way,
That is true.
Very true. Where do you put them all, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing that they're doing that, because could you imagine if they didn't, all the vehicles we'd have sitting around?
Oh, man.
Oh.
No, my wife told me that about 3 years ago. She says, why don't you get rid of some of these vehicles if you don't use them anymore?
Well, you never know when you're going to need one, though.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's an extra one.
That's why I keep the old motorcycle.
There you go.
Emergency ride to work, unless it's like 25 degrees and snowing.
Ooh, that might be rough.
Oh, man. Talking with Jay Baker once again, having a great time here, as we always do, talking recycling and hopefully getting you into recycling. Do you still have the containers at some of the gas stations, the plastic containers where you can toss your plastics in?
There are still some of those out there, yeah, absolutely. And one other thing I'd like to mention, there are still a lot of recycling, what we call sheds, out in the county.
Okay.
In fact, we've added some in the past year or so. We've added some. All of the county parks now have them. And they're not just for use for the people that are camping. They're to be used for everybody. What I mean by drop-off sheds, for people that don't know, we have remote locations, little sheds where you can drop off your recycling. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You go in there, you'll find labeled 55-gallon plastic drums.
Mm-hmm.
Basically explains where you put the material. Go in there, place it in there. Easy peasy.
Very nice.
But we've probably got, if I was guessing, I need to sit down and recount how many we've got. I would say in the neighborhood of 24 or 25 of those in the county.
Wow. Nice,
yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Good to have the options. I know in New London, that's where I drop off my glass and my plastics in the shed there. You know.
Yep, absolutely.
Got to do that. Got to have a place to take it.
Got to do it, and we try to make it as convenient as we can for people.
I know you brought a couple different things up earlier. I kind of want to bounce back to when it comes to getting rid of plastic bags. You mentioned the reusable bags. Last year, you had a bunch of those. I know around the summer into the county fair time.
Yep.
You still have some? You're going to get some more?
We got a few, but we are going to order some more. So we will have more, yes, definitely.
All
That's
right.
something we're going to continue to do, continue to encourage people to use reusable bags rather than those plastic bags that blow all over the county.
Then you guys were just handing those out, or?
Yeah, they're free. Absolutely. Yep.
Very good. Yep. And so we'll look forward to those this summer, right?
Yes, sir.
I like that. Okay, you guys doing parades this year then? Or?
We will be doing some parades also, absolutely.
Who you going to have hiking in the parade?
Well, you never know. We actually have a recycling committee, and a lot of people volunteer to help with that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Derek will probably be driving a recycling truck there, so if you see it going by, if you want to recycle stuff, hey, you can do that too. They'll take it from you and place it in the trailer. So
summertime help. Are you going to have the young Mr. Pearson back with you?
We are going to have young Mr. Pearson. He has agreed to come back.
Nice.
Yet another year, so we're happy about that.
Brady is from New London. I've gotten to know Brady more and more as the years go by, and now we sometimes share the stage in the worship team band at church.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good guy.
Great addition to have with you folks doing recycling.
Absolutely.
I've been building up to this next question here because sometimes there's nothing new to add, but I've always got to ask. You're the guy that keeps an eye out for weird things that get recycled that people bring in. Any new oddities come out of the basement from somebody's house recently?
Oh, nothing terribly odd this time, other than the normal stuff. Which I say this kind of tongue in cheek because I tell people we still see DDT and they go, what?
Yeah.
And I said, even though it's been banned since the early 70s, probably yes, we still see DDT. We still, of course, you still get the mystery containers. People bring it in, and what is that? And they say, I'm not real sure. If you've got some of those, bring them in. We've got ways of testing stuff, so we can probably figure out what it is. But we do get those. You don't want to take something and just dump it out if you don't know what it is. So
Grandma's
if you've got any of those, bring them in.
Yeah, the canning from Grandpa and Grandma in 1960.
Yeah, I do. I have gotten some of that stuff.
I'll bet.
I wonder, what in the world is this stuff?
No explosives lately or anything, no?
Nothing explosive.
Okay.
However, I have seen, such as a 30-pound chunk of blasting powder. I don't. It's kind of exciting getting that, but I don't like to get that excited.
Yeah, you mentioned DDT. I've got to mention this, Jay. One of the magazines that I recycle just finished a story about World War II and the people coming back who were lucky enough to survive the German concentration camps.
Oh, yeah.
And the people were able to return to Paris, and they had an elegant old hotel that they put the people through to feed and clothe them and everything, and the people had lost so much weight they were like walking skeletons, as they called them. They took DDT, which was fine at the time, or so they thought, and they sprayed the people with DDT, and they sprayed in their ears and nose and even their mouth, and because of the lice and the germs from the concentration camp. And little did they know what DDT was. Man, I read that and I just shook my head. I couldn't believe it. But they didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know. They were doing what they thought was best, and as it turned out, it was not so good.
And Jay, before we go, gosh, I'm looking at my clock over here. We have not mentioned fluorescent bulbs and paint cans. You still take those things, right?
We take fluorescent bulbs. Here's the deal on fluorescent bulbs. We charge 50 cents a piece to bring them in. Mm-hmm. But if you're from a household and if you're a Candy Power Co-op customer, a Wilmer Municipal Utilities customer, or an XL customer, if you bring a copy of your bill in with you with the bulbs, we can actually bill that company for your bulb disposal.
All
so
right.
It's a good deal. Now, this is just for households. It's not for businesses, but it's something that, they really want to get people to recycle these because basically what they have in them is mercury.
Yeah.
And mercury, you want to keep that out of the environment, so that's why we're doing that. Yep.
Remember as a young kid, when the thermometer that Mom took our temperature with broke if we bit too hard on and that mercury was on the table. That's some weird stuff.
Oh yeah, I think I played with that stuff. I think in science class.
Silver mercury.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of some neat stuff.
Yeah, so we thought.
Yeah.
But you can bring them in anyway. It doesn't matter if they're the little Curdy Q ones or the long tubes, or they're all the same? Or?
They're all the same. Bring them in.
All right, really good. And paint cans, you got partial cans of paint. I know I brought a bunch one day about a year ago.
Absolutely. You got paint that you don't need anymore. Bring it in. We can help you out with that.
Well, we always had these paints that we thought, well, we're going to use that.
Yeah.
We're going to keep you. We might need a little extra for that.
I know how that goes. You never really use it, do you?
It doesn't matter. It could be not just paint, but like stain or varnish.
Oh, stain, varnish. A lot of your automotive products we talked about. You might have some brake fluid, some antifreeze, any of that type of stuff. We take aerosol cans that still have product in them. Okay. Bring those in. Absolutely, any of that kind of stuff.
Now, I know at times you put the paint on the shelf, or maybe you've mixed paint together to make a gallon, then you give it away to people?
We do. We actually have a reuse shelf out on our lobby. Because a lot of times people just want to get rid of it. It's still good, and what we do is we check that stuff out, make sure it's still good stuff, and we put it on our reuse shelf, and people can come and get that for free.
Wow, very nice. So to wrap it up with the hours of operation, Jay,
sure.
when can we stop in?
The Recycling Center is open from 8:30 to 4 Monday through Friday, Saturday from 9 until 2. Household hazardous waste is open 8 to 4 Monday through Friday.
All right, and again, between Wilmer Avenue and 19th Avenue Southwest on 22nd Street, right by the Stingers ballpark. You know where that's at, and it's a great place to get to know if you don't, and get rid of stuff. I mean,
absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Time to clean things up now. It's finally spring, right?
Well, I hope it's here to stay now.
All righty. Well, again, thank you for having us out last Friday over the midday to broadcast.
Great pleasure.
Once again, give the guys a little shout out that you've got working hard there while you're doing stuff like this. Okay.
You bet.
Right.
Yeah, come out and see there, Derek, and we don't have Brady here yet, but he's on his way.
He'll get here when school's done. He teaches just up the road from you guys at Community Christian there. So.
Yes, he does.
All righty. Household hazardous waste, our topic, along with recycling today with Jay Baker. We thank Jay for being with us here. It's Community Roundtable every Sunday morning at 7:30.
You've been listening to Community Roundtable, a free public service brought to you on AM 1590 KDJS. If you're a member of a nonprofit organization and would like to be featured on the program, call the KDJS Newsline at 320-235-2900. That's 320-235-2900.